Hey guys, it's Bianca Sophia. I know, I have to get the dragon stuff up. I will, but there's been so much happening since then. You know how it is. It's like if you even like breathe for an hour and you don't do any work, it's like you end up, well, I end up like behind because all this new stuff is happening. But I have to get this out because it's very important. To me, it is important. It's very interesting. It was the night before Michael L. and I started singing our soul song. They were trying to stop that from happening. This group, right? The Nah. And it's interesting because Michael L. and Michael's human family are the ones trying to stop it. It's so weird. It's like it's very weird. But it's like we were put in these families because these are powerful people, right? But they just lost their way, right? They are a part of the light, but they just forgot, right? So it's like we're trying to transmute and transform the Nah back to the light too, right? Because they are also light warriors. They just forgot. They forgot that they're on the path of the light and not the path of the dark, right? But you have to understand that a lot of these light warriors, life after life after life after life, they were the ones that the Nah went to, right? To offer, success, money, whatever it is, They knew that these light warriors were the ones that they had to take out. So life after life after life, they went after the same group of people, right? And a lot of them, ended up going dark. And it's not like they wanted to. It's just they didn't know any better, right? So this life is very important. This life is it. It's like this has been going on for millions of years, right? So yeah. So the night before, it would have been the night after all the dragons had been awakened, right? So the next night is when this crazy shit happened, and I'm not surprised because like that song that was sung, the soul song, was like a finalization of what was happening, right? This ascension is final. There's nothing that's going to stop it now, right? I was very flustered when this happened, right? So before I go to bed, I do my scripting and my shielding as well before bed, because by the end of I feel like when the end of the night comes, it's like not weakened completely, but I feel like I just redo it just in case, right? So this is where shit got really interesting. I could feel the energy in the room shift a little bit, like where all of a sudden I have this anxiety, right? I can feel this anxiety, and I knew something was off. There was interference or something, right? Infiltration, what have you, right? So I begin to I do the script, and I do my shield, and as the shield is just about, it's coming up, you know how you build the pillar of light, right? And it's coming up right past my heart, and then all of a sudden, it looked like, but it was a fraud. It was Seraphim Michael L. in front of me, and he had weapons in his hands, right? And he went to stab me, right? And then there was also one behind me that looked like him, and I was like, what the fuck is this now? Like, they're all trying to stab me and shit, but I pushed them back. But then I also saw these arms come out. I saw these arms come out of nowhere and pull him back again, like this has happened before, right? So these arms come and grab him, this fraudulent Michael L., right? And I knew something was off because the energy in the room. When you feel anxiety, you should know that like there's something not right. You can feel it in the energy, right? Michael L. was like right there too, and he had this look of like, oh shit, right? He had these big eyes, like, fuck, like I fucked up, right? And I'll get into all that. So I finished building my shield, but I guess it wasn't fast enough. Something got through. More than one thing got through, right? And as I was like going through all this, I'm thinking, like, damn, like I must be really like somebody, because like all of this freaking attacks that I'm fighting, and I didn't even realize that I was like trying. There's like people trying to attack me every day, but Michael was also shielding, right? He's been the archangels and seraphim are by my side, protecting me, right? So after I finished my shielding and the script and the shielding, I laid down and I was like, what the fuck was that, right? And all of a sudden, this Archangel Michael walks in with this group of beings, this group of people, but they're like beings. They were like not humans. They're all different looking types of beings, right? And he was standing in the middle, and he's like, he points at Michael L. on the bed, that's laying on the bed, and he goes, "That is an imposter. That is not the real Seraphim Michael L." And I was like, what? Oh boy, here we go. Right? He's like, everything he's told you is a lie. Everything he's told you is a lie. Take my hand. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do that, right? But at the same time, I didn't take what he was saying as bullshit either. I was going to get to the bottom of this, right? And so I looked back at him, and he's like, feel in your heart. What do you feel? And I was like, I feel incomplete. Like, I feel very anxious. I feel uncomfortable. He's like, exactly. So, he always says, feel in your heart, feel in your soul. What do you feel? Because that's how you know if something's real or not, right? And I was thinking to myself, is this another fucking test, right? This is another fucking test. And so he kept trying. He's like, take my hand, take my hand. And I was like, no, I'm not going to take your hand. Get out of here, right? And then they started this group and this Archangel Michael, this whoever the hell he was, were all like, come on, this person is messing you up. It's not the real one. I'm the real one. And I was like, oh boy. So it was like, all right, and I'm like, enough. I'm like, I want you all out of here now, right? So I imagined I usually do this sphere of protection. I call in the Diamond Sun energy, and I create the sphere. Like, you guys seen the pictures of it. I've shown pictures of it before. And I pushed that sphere out. And as soon as I did that, I used all of my power, and they went flying. Everybody in my bedroom went flying out, like if a tornado had picked them up. And I was like, ooh, sorry guys, sorry Michael. I just need you all to go for now. I could not believe the power that I had. I was like, I was in shock. I think they were too. The way I was able to just throw them out like that. They went flying up, and they were like rotating and flipping around the way like. Like if a tornado was to pick you up and throw you, that's how it was. Okay? So then I was like, I felt a little, like, upset at the time, like even a couple months back, I would have been a crying mess, right? But it's like I went to cry and I couldn't, right? It's like I've gotten so strong now that it's like nothing can mess my vibration up, really. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, I just want everybody out. I want to go to sleep. I need to, like, I was tired, and I was like not in the mood for this. So I was like, let me sleep, because usually the next morning when I call in Sophia and Faith to get some real answers, then I'll feel better. I knew I'd feel better in the morning. And I was really upset. I was really, really upset, you guys. But like I said, it's like that feeling that I would normally get didn't come. So I was very surprised at that. I was very happy about that. So, and I went to bed very easily. Everything was fine. So when I woke up that next morning, the dream that I had just had, I remembered it. I was like, oh shit. And I'm going to tell you the dream now. Okay? It's very interesting, you guys. Very interesting. So I remember walking to this house. I walked into the front door, and there was this group of people. It was interesting. One of my Archangel sisters was there, Christy. And she was probably there on my behalf, but the rest of them, I think they were not good, the rest of them, right? So she was like there to help protect me if I needed protecting, because I know she's good. She's on the team light. But the rest of them, I believe, were on team dark, okay? So I was like, I was looking for my twin A. I was looking for him. And I guess it was, I don't know if this is his place but it was like I went there to see him. And then I'm going to say Steven approached me. He's like, yeah, he's not here. And I was like, okay. He's like, but just, he'll be back soon. I was like, okay. He's like, just sit down. And And I don't know why I didn't run the fuck out right then and there, because like I said, it was a dream. This was a message, I guess, from my higher self, or who knows, maybe it wasn't a dream and this is like some SSP shit with an overlay, right? They just show you what's in a house, but it's probably in the fucking, in some type of, some SSP thing, right? So I'm just sitting there, and like, no matter where, like, I was walking around a little bit, and Steven would not leave my side. He was literally like touching me the whole time. Like, he had to make sure that his body was touching my body. I thought that was really creepy. And I was walking around, just, I don't even know. He's like, why don't you, he's like, just have a seat, relax, right? And I was like, okay. I don't know, like I said, I don't know why I didn't run the fuck out right away, because I already knew, I knew something was off with this person, Steven. So, I'm sitting on the couch, and these other people are sitting on the other. It was like 2 big couches, right? And, I sit down, and of course, Steven's right on my ass, sitting right next to me, making sure he's touching me. And I was like, what the fuck is what is this? I don't get this. This is really weird. And I was like, all right, so where is he? When is he coming back? He's like, oh, he'll be here. Just be patient. And I was like, and I swear, like, so much time passed, and he still wasn't coming. And I was like, I'm getting frustrated now, and you're making me feel uncomfortable, right? I was getting upset. I'm like, I thought he was coming soon. And he's like, oh, don't worry, he'll be here. And I was like, yeah, he's not coming, right? I just knew this guy was lying to me, right? And I just thought it creepy. Like, this man is like basically sitting on top of me, right? And I was like, okay, this is weird. And then as I was waking up, and you know how like the dream that you have right before you wake up is the one that you remember the most, right? And so I feel like I was being shown this for a reason. And as I was waking up, I hear, SSP, SSP, SSP over and over again, right? And then I hear, he's obsessed with you. He's obsessed with you, and he'll never stop. I'm like, oh boy. So then I wake up, and I'm like, what the fuck was that? What is going on here? Like, what is this? I woke up, and I went to my bed and started meditating immediately. I did my script. I did my shield, right? And then I called in Sophia. All right. I'm like, all right, Sophia, what the hell? What is going on here? What is this, right? And she's like, well, yeah, there was an interference, There was an attempt on your life. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, apparently in the SSP, like, something happened up there too, right? And it was just coming down into the physical or something. And these people tried to take me out, right? And they were using magic to do that again. This magic that they have left. Because this stuff that was going on in the physical was very important that it happened, and they were trying to stop this. So they were using who they knew they could use. And not only that, apparently this person is obsessed with me. And I asked about that. They're like, you don't need to worry. Don't worry about that right now. You don't need to know about that at all. I'm like, okay. And when Sophia's like, tells you something, you don't, it's like she's the one that you don't really say, oh, just please tell me. Please just don't even bother, right? And she's really tough, right? She just can't get through. You can't. She's like, there was an interference, right? And I was like, well, how did they interfere if I'm shielded and all this? She's like, well, that's why it's important that you do that. And you didn't do your little spheres like you usually do. And she's like, and to tell you the truth, I let it happen. I was like, wait a minute, what? She's like, you need to be tested. Like I've told you before, I need to make sure that you are strong enough to take on these types of beings, right? So when you're out or something happens, whatever, with the spiritual war that we're in, you need to know how to defend yourself. You need to know how to protect yourself. And it was not only a test for you, it was a test for Seraphim Michael and Archangel Michael too, right? Because apparently, she's like, we've gotten so lost in each other that we were missing stuff, right? You know how when you're in love with someone, you're like, you don't see anything else, like the whole world disappears and it's just you two. Well, apparently that was happening on both of our ends. So not only did I miss it, but Seraphim Michael missed it, right? He usually can sense any types of interference right away, and he's supposed to be scanning the area like all the time, right? So he also missed it. So we both got spankings, right? We both got in trouble. She's like, you two need to be, more aware, which is, I shouldn't have to tell you guys this at all. You guys are usually the ones that are on top of this, right? I understand you want to, ride off into the sunset, but you cannot do that just yet. There's still a war going on, right? I was like, well, okay, what happened to Michael? He's like, well, when you kicked him out, like, well, flew him, whatever, I threw him out, literally. She sent him to 7, where apparently there's, and I was like, I want to see. So I remote viewed 7D, and I saw where he was. I went back in time to see what happened with him on his end, and he was, it was really cool. There's apparently a replica of the throne room that's in the 15th dimension. There's a replica of that in the 7th dimension, where that's the highest they can go right now because of this ascension. They've had to descend, and he was sitting on his throne, and he was having, it was so cool, this like beautiful light was shining from above, and it was hitting him like a light bath. He was having a light bath, and I've heard about this light bath, that we get to have that when we transition. You go through a light bath, especially if you've died in a horrible way, or like of cancer or some type of traumatic thing. You get to stay in that light for a long time. I was able to communicate with him, even like go back in time and communicate with him. I was like, how does that feel? He's like, oh. He said it feels like a full body orgasm that you humans have no idea about, not a clue about. I'm like, okay, well, I want to do it. Can I do it? He's like, no, it'll kill you. He's like, no, this is some powerful light. It would kill the whole earth or something. I'm like, wow, it has the power to wipe out humanity. That's how powerful this light is, this light shower that he was having. Well, yeah, I mean, think about it. This is like the sun, right? The sun, and it's cleaning him. Think about how big our sun is, right? And like the power of our sun. If this was able to make the sun go into a complete state of bliss and be cleaned, right? Like, can you imagine what that would do to us, right? Because apparently there's light baths at every dimension, but the one at 7 is like, wow. We couldn't even comprehend that kind of power, or comprehend that kind of light, right? And most of us have forgotten. So he just sat there he was like his mouth was open and his eyes were closed, like that, right? I was like, oh my God, I want to do it so bad. He's like, you'll have your time soon, don't worry, right? And I was just like looking at him with this look like, I want that light. Because it's like, I don't know, I have a memory of it or something. Like I can remember something like that, like going through that before, right? So I just thought it's so cool that they had this replication of this throne room, right? There was these beautiful 7 chairs in a row in this beautiful room. And I was like, I love how they make you feel at home here, even though it's not home, right? It's like he's like, well, yeah, that's what, definitely, we gotta make ourselves feel at home in 7, because 7 is low to them, right? So like, oh my God, so how can you even be okay down here in 4? Well, it was 3, now it's 4. He's like, exactly. He's like, it's messing me up. It's messing me up a lot. So then Sophia brought me back. She's like, all right, back to me. Like, come back. Back to the present moment. So she's like, you two need to be more aware. If a few months back, this would have never ever happened. This would have never happened. This would have never got by Michael L. or Michael, like in a million years. No way, right? I was like, oh shit. It's like, I'm sorry. She's like, it's not your fault. This is his fault, right? She's like, well, I don't want to blame anybody, but you guys need to be more aware. And she's like, that's why I let it happen, because you guys are getting lost. You're getting lost in the love, right? But it's not that time yet, right? She's like, you cannot ride off into the sunset just yet. There's a war, and you guys are, some of the major players, warriors of this war, and I need my major players in this war, right? So I was like, okay, I started to understand right away, right? She's like, you don't understand how disastrous this could have been, right? Like, she's like, I'm not going to even tell you all the details about it, but just know it could have been disastrous. She's like, I would have never let that happen, but still, right? Because mistakes have been made in the past, very long time ago, and it ended in disaster, right? So she's like, you need to do more of your shieldings, do it in the morning and do it at night. Do your, your spheres of protection that you do, which, if you guys want to know, every night what I also do is I build, I call it in the Diamond Sun energy, right? And I build a sphere of protection. I just imagine the sphere around my body, right? And that's it. That's all you have to do. Say, I build this sphere of protection from using the Diamond Sun energy. And I'm using, and it's a sphere of unconditional love and light. And nothing that's not a match in vibration can get through this sphere, right? And then I also put spheres around my children and spheres around my home, and I leave that other one out, right? So I just thought all of this really interesting. She's like, and what did you feel when, this Archangel Michael came through telling you that the other one was the fraud? And I said, I felt anxiety. She's like, yeah, because this person that's obsessed with you, that's what he felt. So you were able to feel his energy. And he wasn't able to trick you really at all. It's like you kicked his ass out, and they really thought they were going to trick me, apparently. But I knew something was off because the energy changed, right? And I was like, well, I thought I binded this guy, right? She's like, well, I unbinded him. I'm like, oh my God, like, wow. This is crazy, right? She's like, you guys needed to be tested. Not only that, but I knew this person was going to be able to get through because you guys were just not being aware like you should have been. So she's like, but I knew you had the strength to get through this, or else I wouldn't have let it happen, right? And we were all standing by just in case anyway. I was like, wow, this shit is crazy. Like, remember I told you those hands came out and they grabbed this other one that looked like Seraphim Michael that attempted to stab me or whatever. The one, he was grabbed and pulled back, and then this Archangel Michael character is the one that came out with all these beings, saying that they're my soul family and, trying to, take my hand. Oh, yeah, So I was like, okay, but I want to know about this Stephen person. Like, what is the deal with him? She's like, and like I said, she won't talk. She won't let me know about it. She's like, no, you'll learn about that later, but not now. Knowing about that now could screw up the whole time space. I'm like, wow, okay. I'll leave it alone then. I don't want to mess anything up. Oh yeah, so last night, I was told, to bind this person again, right? So I did my script, I did my shielding, and then I binded this person again. But it was weird. Before I did that, I said, show me Stephen now, right? And as soon as I said that, I was able to. It was weird. I had this huge. I got really dizzy in my head, right? I got really dizzy, and this pain was in my head, right? I was like, what the hell? So this motherfucker is in my head somehow, right? Because I felt like this pressure in my head, and I thought that was really interesting. And then I worked on transmuting him. I was actually looking in the mirror because if he's within me somewhere, somehow. I was shooting the light. I was looking in the mirror and I was shining my light right at myself, right? Doing the same thing I do to the cobras, right? And these reptilians. I was doing the same thing. And while I was doing this, he's like, no, stop, right? He's like, he didn't want it. But then when I showed the fire within him, he, like the rest of him, he's like, oh, what's this, right? So I did that. And then afterwards, I binded him. And during that too, he was like, no. I can't remember which I did first. Yeah, I binded him first. And then I transmuted him. I binded him because, yeah, during the while I started binding, he was like, no, stop it, no. Like, he was not happy with being binding him again. And then I did the transmutation to him. So, and then I had the angels, the archangels, and seraphim take him away after he saw the flame within him, and it got bigger and bigger, and then I was like, take him away. So, yeah, I don't know what the hell's up with him. It's really weird. And I know he has ties to Odin, and his son has ties to Odin, because of this. I don't know. I'm just not, and I'm not allowed to dig into that. See, right now I'm being told no. She's like, no, no. Okay, I'll stop. So that's all for now, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this experience as much as I did. So now we know that we need to be more aware, right? So if you guys ever go through anything like this, call on the Divine Mother and the Divine Father to help you. Just go right to the top if you need help, right? And do that sphere thing. When I was kicking them out of my room, that's what I imagined. I imagined the diamond sun. I sphere again, like I just told you to do. And I said, I'm building a sphere of protection of diamond sun. And I said, I want every being except myself, except my own energy out. And then I pushed it. And as I pushed it, I put my hands and I pushed out, like with my hands. They all went flying, right? It's so funny. As Michael was flying out, I'm like, sorry, I love you, bye. Yeah. So funny. I'm like, we'll get this straightened out. It was really funny. At the time, though, I wasn't really thinking it was funny. But like now, looking back at all these bodies flipping out of my room, like a tornado took them out. I still can't believe I had that power. Like, wow, right? So like, I don't even know what's gonna happen with Twin A now, because Steven is Twin A's father. So it's gonna be a little awkward. Like if we ever do come into union, it's gonna be like really awkward family dinners. That shit is hilarious. Oh, hi, nice to meet you. Oh, you tried to kill me. Oh, hi, nice to meet you. Oh, you tried to kill me too. And you. Oh, and you too. You all tried to kill me. But I helped you anyway, right? I love you guys. I love you. I really do love you all. I love you all. No hard feelings, right? You just got a little lost. And you're probably under ultra programming. So, no hard feelings. I love you all. I love you all. All right, that's it for now, you guys. Shields up, swords up. Let's get it.